Hello, we are back to make a tutorial on modeling this plastic box here. And this is the first time that we've drawn something like this that you start to think about if you actually were to manufacture this. And so if you were going to like injection mold this or something like that, there's this little kind of drafted edge right here, right? And that allows it to go over like whatever your mold is and then be able to come off of it, right? To be able to take the part out to actually be able to make something like this. And so we've got to figure out how to do some of this stuff and draw the box, and we'll be using a split feature and some things along those lines in order to do that. So let's head to a Fusion new document here, and I'm going to turn my origin on, and we're going to start a drawing in the top sketch. So create sketch. And then we are going to draw this rectangle, so 100 by 150. And so I'm going to hit create, and I'm going to use a center point rectangle. And that's 150. Then I'm going to hit tab over to the other one, and that locks that in place at the 150. And we can be good with that right now, actually. And then hit home, and then we're going to extrude this rectangle. And we want to do it symmetric. And the total thickness of this box is 50, and we want it to go symmetrically. So my whole distance there, whoops, not 500, 50. All right, and then we are good to go there. Okay, and if we look at this again, we can see that there is a 5mm fillet all the way around this. That's up there. Okay, so let's go back to Fusion. Excuse me. And we're actually going to select this whole thing. And 5mm fillet. And that's good. So we hit OK on that. And now the next thing we're going to do is to split this in half, to cut it in half like we have on this box right here. So let's go back here. We're going to use a new thing up here in Modify. And we want to split the body, and it says, okay, what body do we want to split? This whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and hit this drop down arrow so that you guys can see this over here. I'll open up my sketches as well. And now it says splitting tool. Okay, we want that to be the top face there. Nope, not that one, not that one, that one right there. Alright, so we want to split that in half that way. So we can hit OK. And now you can see over here that I have two bodies. And let's go ahead and toggle this so you can see that. So that means that body 2 is the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this just so I don't get confused. Turn that one off, turn this one back on. Did I do that wrong? I did. So that's actually the top. Sorry. I don't know how I did that one. Okay, now let's rename this one bottom. My bad. Alright. So now that highlights the bottom half. That's good. So if I turn that off, that's the bottom. Very good. So now we've got our two bodies here. And if we go back and look here, what we want to do, I'm just going to move this for the moment. Our wall thickness is 2.5. We won't worry about the draft just yet. We'll get to that in a second. So 2.5 on the wall. So we're going to use our shell tool again. And so let's hide top first. And we got our shell tool right here. I want to shell this face. And I want my wall to be 2.5. And I hit OK. And then we'll switch. And do the top now. Shell tool again. 2.5. Enter. We like that. Bring this one back to life. Okay, from here, let's just kind of check out what we have going. So we're going to, I think it's inspect. And we want to do a section analysis. And it just asks us which one we want to do. And I can't get to those little planes that are a part of my origin. So I'm going to go over here and click on them, and I want the one that's on the right. So it's this YZ one, and there we go. I can look at this and see that I've got this hollowed out now. And I'm actually going to kind of do this for my drawing as well. What I want to do now is create a new sketch right on this right plane. Create sketch, and it whips me around there. That's good. We're going to zoom in over on one side. And I'm going to hit P on my keyboard to project. And I need to project this point especially, right? I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm going to draw a rectangle right here. I'm going to go up here. And we want that to be 1.25. And then tab for this one, 2.75. And hit Enter. And it draws this little rectangle right here. And that's exactly what we want. We can hit Finish Sketch. And then we can actually just toggle this section view back off, and we can see this little rectangle in here. And what we want to do is we want to hide the bottom. Alright. Now I'm going to flip down here so that I can see this. And we're going to remove this from the top. And so what we're going to do is modify it, I guess, or create a sweep pattern. Alright, and it says, what do we want to sweep? Well, I want this rectangle. I'm having trouble getting that. And so I can actually go over here, maybe. Is that not letting me select that? So let's go ahead and hide that body, all those bodies for a moment, just so I can select that. And then I can bring that back to life. Well, just so it allowed me to select that square there. Okay, now path, we want really this whole thing going around. And we do want to cut that out, yes. So that's what we are looking for. We'll hit OK. And that's exactly what we wanted to do with that sweep. And now we need to do the other half. So that was the top. So let's go back up here. And now we're going to hide the top and bring the bottom back awake. And instead of doing a sweep where we cut it out, we're going to add to this one. And so I need to bring that sketch back to life over there. And then I'm going to come over here and do a sweep again. And I'm going to select that, and then for the path, I want that all the way around again. And it selected all that, and we can go ahead and hit OK because now we're joining this together. Very good. Now I can turn this sketch off, and I'll bring both of them back to life. And let's turn our section analysis back on and kind of spin around here so that we can see how this fits together now. And that is exactly what we want to have that kind of look like there. Is this new kind of joined up bodies so that they overlap there. That's what we're going for. Alright, so we've got these drawn up now. What we are going to want to do is turn off our section analysis, kind of bring it back to life. And now what we have is, I guess we can turn that back on for a moment. When you're making something like this, if this was done over a mold and it had these totally square walls to the bottom here, it would never come off the mold. It wouldn't release. So we want to put a slight angle on that wall. And we have a tool for that. It's called the draft tool. And so what we'll do now is let's turn that back off. Take a look at this. We'll do the bottom first, so let's hide the top. And now what we're going to do is go up here, modify, and there is our draft tool. And it asks us pull direction, faces. And so let's see. That's not what we want to do here, so let me... Okay, that didn't quite work. Oh, that's because my angle hasn't been set yet. Let's try that. 3 degrees is what we want, not 30. 3 degrees. And then let's flip that around, and there we go. So our pull direction was set by clicking this top surface, and then the faces, we wanted to pull, just click these. And you can see by these lines in here that what it did is it pulled those in. And just to double check that, let's go down here and hit Visual Style. And let's actually go Wireframe. And then let's look at the right view. And see how that wall angled in there like that? And let's spin this around and then look at the front view and just make sure that one worked good. Yeah, that's exactly what we want right there. Alright, so I'm going to turn that off for the moment just because it's a little bit confusing. So we'll go back to shaded with visible edges there. And we can hit just drafting one side, that's all we want, yep. And hit OK. And that one's now been drafted exactly how we want. So let's switch these. And now let's do this one. And so we'll look up here. We'll go into modify again and draft. And now what we want is to not this edge. We want to make sure we get this kind of inner lip right there. Alright. So that's our pull direction. And now faces. Let's get this inside wall there. And that looks like that worked. But again, let's double check. Wireframe, we can see that has pulled in the way we want it to. Alright, 3 degrees, and we can hit OK. Let's fix our visual style, shaded with visible edges only. And let's bring both back to life, and we are good to go on this now. Let's do a couple things though to turn this in. So we have ABS plastic again, and so we'll go over, we have multiple bodies here. Physical appearance, and so we'll do plastic, and let's do ABS, and let's see if in this one we can actually do the bottom as well. So now we've got both those. We don't have to change the appearance, we can just go with what automatically did that. And let's take a look at I want to toggle this back on real quick. I think this is how I would like you guys to turn this in. I don't know for sure. Let's see here. Let's just go with the bottom for now, the properties of the bottom. Can we do both properties? I don't know. Does not look like it. And so if we hit bottom, and we're at 53358, so we'll just have the properties on for one, that's fine. So this is actually just half of our box. But that will give me a good idea that you guys are on the right track and have this the right size. Okay, and so then I also want this section analysis on, and this thing kind of cut in half like this so that I can see that you overlapped. I can see that your draft feature worked. And so this right here is how I would like to take your screenshot to turn in for this video. Alright, thank you.